Hi everyone, Zoe from Cameroon here. Today I want to share with you the most important key to 6x your productivity. And it is not what you think. In fact, many years ago when I registered as a PhD candidate, I spent almost 3 years doing nothing. I was registered to produce my thesis, my dissertation, to have my PhD, but I was procrastinating for 3 years, 36 months, doing nothing. And one day I had a meeting with my PhD director, and that day he gave me an advice. He advised me to join his lab. It was a group of people led by him who had this passion and this commitment to produce their dissertation and to have their PhD, to pass their PhD with flying colors. And I joined that group and everything changed because, in fact, it took me 6 months to write my dissertation that I couldn't write for 3 years. For 36 months, I was procrastinating, but only in 6 months, I finished what I was struggling to do for the previous 36 months. What happened in that group? In fact, it is the right environment. In that environment, I got three things. First thing I got, it was accountability. I was held accountable by my peers. I was held accountable by the other members of the group. In fact, every week I had to make a presentation to present my progress, to present my findings, and also to answer questions from the audience. And was very powerful. That is the first thing that I got from that environment. The second thing that I got from that environment is this sense of urgency. Yes, because the fact that you have to present to people every week raise that sense of urgency in you, and you cannot sleep because none of us want to be displayed as a loser. We want all people to see us as an achiever, as a finisher, as somebody who delivers on his promises. That is why the simple fact that I had to present my progress every week put pressure on me, and I had to deliver on my promise. So the second thing that this environment provided for me is that sense of urgency. And the third thing was the fact that this environment provided me feedback. That is very powerful. During those presentations every week, I received feedback, and those feedback helped me to improve my work, to improve my research, to improve my writings, to improve my dissertation. And that is why it took me 6 months to finish what I couldn't finish in 36 months. And that is why you have to understand something very important, because as far as I can remember, everything I achieved that was unique was possible because of the environment I was in, because the environment provided me those three things: this sense of urgency, this sense of accountability, and the feedback that I needed to know where I'm at, how can I do to improve, what do I have to change, and how can I do to become better, to become wiser, to become stronger, and to produce better results. You have to understand that your most powerful weapon, or the most powerful key for you also to 6x your productivity, is not your gift, it's not your potential, it's not your talent, it's not your skill, it is your environment. And it is very powerful, but people still don't get it. Your potential is great, your skill is great, your talent is great, your passion is great, but nothing is more powerful than your environment. And why is your environment so powerful? Why is your environment so strong that you cannot do or you cannot produce a result that is contrary to the quality of your environment? Your environment is powerful because it has this capacity to affect your most powerful asset. And your most powerful asset is your mind. Your environment has this power to shape your mind, to change your emotional state, to change the way you see the world, to change the way you think, to change the way you perceive things, to change the way you reason. And that is why it's very important, because successful people understand that if you want to take control of your life, first of all, take control of your environment, because your mind will be the reflection of your environment. And how does your environment influence your mind? Through gates. And there are two major gates I want you to pay close attention. It is what you see and what you listen. What you get inside your mind through what you watch, what you read, what you experience, what you listen to on radio, on television, on social media, from your environment, from your friends, will affect your mind. That is why if you want to take control of your life, you have to take control of those two major gates: what you see and what you hear, or what you listen to. Because what you see and what you listen to will affect the way you think, the way you feel, the way you perceive, the way you reason, the way you interpret life. Even in the Bible, it is said that in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, above all, watch over your heart, watch over your mind, watch over your thoughts, because your life, your entire life flows out of it. It is very powerful. This book of wisdom instructs us that more than our money, more than our bank account, more than our relationships, we should watch over our mind. But how do we watch over our mind? We watch over our mind by taking care and by guarding the different gates through which our environment can affect what is happening in our mind. That is why you have to take control of what you see, of what you hear, or what you listen to. That is why I want to give you 5 truths you have to understand and you have to remember when it comes to your environment. First of all, you will never outperform the quality of your environment. Think about that. It is very powerful for you to understand. No seed can outperform the quality of the soil, of the quality of the weather it finds itself in. You cannot outperform the quality of your environment. If you put a corn seed on a tile floor, it will never produce fruit. If you put a corn seed on a wooden table, it will never produce its fruit. But if you take that same corn seed and you put it in inside the right soil, it will produce many fruit. Why? The quality of your environment. You will never outperform the quality of the environment. That is the first thing to remember. The second thing to remember is this: without the right environment, your gift is useless. Without the right environment, your talent is useless. Like a seed, you need an environment. Having the potential, being gifted, be talented, be skillful is not sufficient. It is important, but after that, there is something more powerful than that. It is to choose the right environment, because when you find the right environment, it becomes natural for you to produce your fruit. When you put the seed in the right soil, in the right environment, the seed doesn't struggle anymore. It becomes natural for the seed to grow, for the seed to take root, for the seed to grow, for the seed to produce its fruit. Why? Because it has found the right environment. The right environment is that catalyst that activates that potential and enable you in a natural way to produce your fruit, to produce your results. That is why when I got into that lab, into that group, my results completely changed, because I found the right environment to thrive. And that is very important for you to understand. The third thing to understand about your environment is that your environment is more powerful than your mind. Because what is happening in your mind, it is a reflection of what is happening in your environment. The quality of your environment will be the quality of your mind. The way people think in your environment will be the way you will be thinking. The way people reason in your environment will be the way you will be reasoning. That is why even in the Bible it is said that faith comes from where? From your environment. And when I'm talking about your environment, I told you to remember the gates. Your environment affects you through those gates. And the two major gates you have to take control over, it is what you see, what you hear, what you let inside your mind through the video you watch, the experience you go through, the audio books you listen, the program you listen, the people you listen to will affect the quality of your mind. You will never have a different emotional state than the one that is occurring, that is ruling, or that is happening in your environment. Your environment is more powerful than your mind, because it is your environment that produces your mind. That is why successful people, to succeed in life, they take control of the environment by focusing on what they want to see and what they want to hear. They don't listen to anyone. They don't read any kind of book. They don't watch any kind of video. They are intentional in what they watch. They are intentional with the videos they watch. They are intentional with the audios they listen. They are intentional with the kind of people they hang with. Why? Because your environment is more powerful than your mind. It is the environment that produces the mind. That is why the environment is powerful, and you have to create the appropriate one for the life you want to lead. That was the third thing. The fourth thing is that your results will always reflect your environment. If you live in a poor environment, you will have poor results. I was in a poor environment. I was hanging with people who were not going somewhere. I was hanging with people who didn't have something to do with what I was desiring, that is to have my PhD. I was hanging with people who were saying that school is useless. But when I've changed my environment and I joined that lab of PhD candidates who were passionate and committed to produce their PhD, to have their dissertation, and to pass their PhD with flying colors, it affected me. It changed my way of seeing things. It changed my mood, my motivation, and my commitment. And my results also change, because my results will always be the reflection of my environment. If you want to change your results, therefore, Just change your environment and you will see how things will change in your life. You cannot hang with successful people without at the end becoming successful. You have a choice whether you stay in that group of successful people and you will succeed or you get out of it. These are the two options. But if you stay with successful people long enough, you will start thinking like them. You will start mirroring their behavior, mirroring their attitudes, mirroring their faith, mirroring their way of doing things. And at the end, your results will completely change. That is why your results are the reflection of your environment. And the fifth thing is this: you can change your environment, and that is the good news. You are not a tree. You are not a mountain. You are not a building that cannot move. You can move. You can change your environment. You can create the environment that is suitable to the life you want to lead by choosing what you see, what you watch, what you read, what you experience, what you listen to, the people you are listening to, the people you hang with, audiobooks you are listening, the program you are listening. By taking care or taking control of what you see and what you hear, you can change your environment. You may be saying to yourself, but I'm living in a bad environment. People are negative. People are pessimists. People are not dreaming. People are just there to crush every dream you can have. How can I do to change this kind of environment? Remember what I told you. To control your environment, it is not about controlling what is going on outside. It's about controlling what you let inside your mind by controlling your gates. And your two major gates are what you see and what you hear. You can be in a bad external environment, but you can create your own environment in a bad environment, if I can say it, by choosing and being intentional with what you read, what you watch, the people you hang with, the experience you will have, the kind of news you will listen to, the kind of people you will be listening to. By being intentional in those things, that is how you will take control of those two gates. And by taking control of those two gates, you will change what is happening in your mind, because your mind will always be the reflection of the environment, not the external one, but the one you allowed in your mind. And that is very important for you to understand. That is why your most powerful key to 6x your productivity is your environment, and you can change it. You are not a tree, you are not a building, you are not a mountain, you are not a hill, you are a human being, and you can choose what you let inside your mind through your eyes, through your ears. I hope you've got a lot of value from this. It was Zoe from Cameroon. I wish you success.